GM, welcome guys. This is GM Chat presented by SMS Live, and let's get into it. I'm SMS. This is Jules. How you doing this morning, buddy?
GM, how's it going?
Not bad, man. Just getting the coffee in, and dude, I just ran out of creamer and coffee at the exact same time. I was like, this is perfect, and this is a problem at the same time. But it was funny how that worked out. But no, man, it's been a good one. I didn't really get on the internet. I haven't checked any prices. I kind of was keeping all this fresh because I knew you were trying to link up this morning. So I guess we'll take a look at that in a minute. But let's get through this intro real quick, and we'll get our day started. Take a look at some of these prices and some of these. I kind of want to look at some of the meme coins. I was talking about Troll for a couple months, and that broke out. I think I even mentioned it to you when we were kind of just like practicing doing some stuff. But either way, guys, hope your morning is starting all solid. And like I said, I'm SMS. This is Jules. We're members of the ZWG. We run the Tuesday stream for Solana Made Simple, powered by Zeus Network. Shout out to them. But like I said, we're here to kick your day off with Solana Made Simple, giving you the latest on Bitcoin, Solana, and the world of Web3, everything crypto related. On GM Chat, we cover crypto news, Web3 culture. We start with a little bit of mindset and kind of just get your day started and talk about what's moving the space. None of the bullshit, none of the fluff, the straight talk, the stuff that's actually matters. And you can kind of build upon that. But the name of the game is showing up daily, bringing the vibes and the value. And we keep it consistent, and that's kind of how it starts. But like I said, I'd like to start with quote of the day. This one's a little different. I don't know. Take it how you want to. Some people are like, man, that's kind of rough to kind of start with that. But either way, you guys will get the point. This one is, the game will take you as long as you want to be here, but it'll also go on without you. So keep showing up and keep going. So like that to me means like anybody's welcome. Anybody's able to grow or do anything in this space. If you have an idea and you put the work in, whatever, it's here for you it's here for the taking, honestly. But the thing is, if you take a couple days off, if you get comfortable, you get complacent. If you don't remain humble, it can go on without you. Like some setback, if you don't stay in the game, even when you're down, like it just continues going on. Like you got to think about it like this: the world continues spinning, right? Or I mean, if you're a flat earther, that's a different story. But if you believe in the round globe, that motherfucker just keeps spinning, right? And if you stop where you're at right here, and the world keeps spinning, you're constantly trying to play catch up to that. So the game's here for you to take part of, and you just gotta kind of accept the ups and the downs. It reminds us that progress isn't about speed. It's about consistency and a presence. The crypto space, like life, moves forward no matter what. You have the power to choose to keep showing up, like I said, keep building or fall behind, but keep the focus, stay disciplined. What I'd like to do is have non-negotiables. There's things that I wake up, bam, bam, bam. 5 easy things for me to do. That starts my day with momentum, starts it with, on the right foot. I mean, I could spill my coffee, but I still know, life goes on and we'll be all right. But the real failure you have is like quitting. So I don't know, take what you want from that. I always tell you guys to take notes. I even bring paper, some pens, and I jot stuff down along the stream just because there's certain things I either want to look into more or that kind of come to mind. But I'm a master chef with Marinade Finance, content marketing lead with DD Gaming Labs, and like I said, member of the Zeus working group. Jules, if you want to kind of talk on that or touch on it, feel free to tap in. I mean, you've been in the game long enough, a little bit about, not quitting and sticking around. So if you want to kind of tap into that, it's whatever that comes to mind, feel free.
Yeah, actually, I was just talking about that this morning. Obviously, we know the markets have been tough since, last fall. Obviously, you can kind of see this on CT. It's, I don't know, everybody seems a little worn out, but, the point is you just got to stay in the game and keep plugging away. There's various points of every cycle where things need to be done a certain way, and then you do have easy mode at some points, and you just got to realize you're not just going to sit here and get easy mode all the time, and think about your different strategies for each time frame of the cycle. Like everybody does it differently. In the summer I do obviously less. I worry more about either swing trading or another factor I think of, I guess, is like kind of accumulating the entire time, or at least buying while things are lower and down.
Right.
So
summer typically is a little bit slower. Yeah. So summer is typically a little bit slower. I know that we always want the Solana summer kind of thing, but it is slower. But I think one of the things that came to mind when you're saying that is keep showing up, like having a plan. Like things aren't always going to go your way. There are easy days. One thing that I try to remind people is set yourself up for success. Like that's what the routine, the non-negotiables, and for me, it's structuring, my days out. I mean, I keep a lot of flexibility with it. Like I I don't keep it as stringent as like a 9 to 5 kind of job where you're in that setting where you have to be here, you have to do that. Like that just breaks you down a little bit because you might have been a rough day and you might just need 20 minutes just to kind of get away from it. And building in this space and like being in the crypto world and Web3, it's like you can give yourself that time. You know, a lot of people say touch grass, like looking forward to the weekends for that. And I think that's such a, old traditional mentality. I mean, I know that there's different reasons and responsibilities for everybody, but people that are working and constantly engaged and want to like do something, these are those opportunities. Like make time for yourself throughout the week is my point. Like definitely take the weekends because there's more things to do on the weekends. I think businesses know that too. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, but make time for yourself throughout the day. Like in the morning, just before you do anything, if you have your list of things, whether it's read for 5 minutes, I don't care what it is, read the news, if you're going through and just doing a good morning, good vibe GM round, like set up something where you consistently do that. And no matter like how the day starts, you have those things. Those are just core things for me. But like I said, you have to keep yourself a little bit flexible with that kind of stuff. But like my schedules, like I said, after 9 a.m., after 3 p.m., and sometimes we don't even get to the daily stream just because it's busy. Like yesterday, I was considering doing a late night one, but I don't know. I was cooked, and I started like getting relaxed and planning out today. So I was like, we can let that slide. We got enough done. And that's not the worst case scenario, skipping a midday stream. So either way, but today we got the GM chat. You guys are here right now at 1 p.m. I am doing a one-on-one show with Big Boy. It's going to be kind of like the interview setting. He hasn't been, I guess, active in streaming, so that'll be fun kind of talking to him about what he's got going on. And then maybe we'll close the day off with a daily stream or jump into spaces. But I do want to take a look at some prices and stuff like that. I don't know if you have any charts up, if you want to look at like the majors and stuff like that.
I was going to go a little different direction. Just only take 2 seconds here.
Oh, okay. What do you got for us?
Hang on. I guess I didn't share my screen yet. There we
go. While you're pulling that up, I can play a little clip real quick and get that.
I got it. I got it already.
Okay.
So, first chart is going to be DXY. So we always sit here and look at, Bitcoin, Solana, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, go into memes, whatever. But let's just take a look kind of being where we're at, kind of the different price action lately. So, first of all, DXY has been pumping for about the last week, during our chop. So you take it a step further and say, wait a second. SPX now the last few days getting a little bit red. And just, I guess for clarification, that's the S&P 500. DXY obviously is the dollar index. So point is the dollar index was kind of bottoming a little bit, wants to pump a little. Obviously that's usually a little bit worse for risk on assets in that case.
Yeah, for the dollar index, for people that aren't completely aware, that tells you the value of the dollar versus other markets or other like currencies or something like that. What's the best way to kind of explain that? Like keep it simple.
I'd say let's just call it the dollar. How about that?
Okay.
Basically, it's like the valuation of the dollar to simplify it.
Okay.
So, there is an index. I personally, I guess I don't even know the full equation on that, but yeah, let's just call it the dollar just to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
And where I was going with that is so you notice you're like, okay, well, technically it's been dumping now. Maybe it's retesting down here. I don't know yet. Probably in this range, but anyway, maybe it's going back down. So anyway, so you would ask, why is everything dumping? I just showed the SPX dumping. Bitcoin's kind of been doing whatever the whole time. Well, then a lot of people have heard this probably over the last year or more. VIX, this is the volatility index. And again, I don't know the exact equation on how this index is created to achieve these numbers. But anytime we're having these spikes in the volatility index, ironically, it doesn't just mean volatility like, it could be pumping or dumping. It almost always means when it's pumping out of hand that it's actually dumping,
right?
At least to some degree. So anyway, we've definitely had a couple of days span here of where, this is kind of normal volatility, I guess, when it's kind of going up a little bit. And yeah, we do have some spots in the market that are going down. As long as we're not getting these here, obviously, right. This is, much more. But normal volatility here. We are starting August. I would say the biggest question for this morning would probably be We are after that tariff deadline. I guess I wasn't paying attention last night.
Yeah, I didn't see that until I got onto the timeline. I was like, what the hell's going on?
So, do you know anything more than I do? Because that was going to be my next
No,
thing.
I can look it up while we're kind of going over this and tap into it, see what's going on. Because I was curious, and I was going to ask you as well, because I saw a couple posts about it. I saw some, people mentioning it.
Because my assumption would be that tariff deadline would get pushed back. Maybe even if it hasn't happened yet. I mean, that's just been the general theme anyway. So
yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, long story short is I feel like the dollar index kind of pumping into that deadline, along with volatility going up. Markets obviously are all down. Let me just try to find anything.
Yeah, you're definitely out of the range that I had for Bitcoin, where it was bouncing. It broke the support even lower, so we created a newer low. It has recovered most of that sell-off for the day. Then you're back up to 115,664 or 644 right now. But
yeah,
it does look like everything that I'm showing here, signals and everything, looks like you have some downside. But that's what we talked about. That leg up right there, that big candle. We were saying, there's a gap where we have to figure out where it's going to catch support, or it's going to go all the way down to the tops of the previous resistance, in my opinion.
Yeah, and to go further on kind of what I said a few days ago when we first had this wick here.
Yeah, yep.
I said we want to grab at least 50% of that, and I liked a little bit more just because we're barely into the FBG.
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially what we did. We grabbed all of it instead. I think what we're, and again, that's why I bring up these big FBGs, because they're basically liquidity grabs. So they're areas of price that really have not had a lot of action at that, because they kind of just pump right through it. So anyway, you're going to want to grab orders in here. And obviously, one would think if you could get, and I've mentioned this before, a wick down to this previous structure, that's a 100% possibility. You might not get quite that, but I would like to see, basically, as this MA kind of rises a little bit, and this would be the 50 EMA.
Yeah.
As this kind of rises a little bit as it has. We also have the FBG. We're probably going to want to settle somewhere in here.
Yep.
And could you get like a flush below it quickly, like this old one back in June? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's not a line you have to tap exactly, just like a lot of people think that. One of my pet peeves is drawing trend lines and diagonals and things like that. You don't need to hit things exactly. That's not really how it works.
No. It's supposed to be a guide. Like that's why I try to tell people, like, I'm not going to be super technical. This might be off by a few dollars, but it's supposed to give you a guide.
Yes.
It's supposed to give you an idea. Like, it just, because it could change on that moment. It could change on a dime. That's the way that the markets work. Like, that's why you don't want to time them. And to your point again, it's like I go with what I see and I adjust it. I don't make it concrete. It's not like a staple. I like where there. I mean, I do like finding support and resistance, historical price references on that. That's what I will, put on there. But as far as your point towards the momentum, towards the price action, is this going to go up, down, left, or right? Hopefully it doesn't go left. That'd be crazy, but what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would be wild.
Who's charting this
and
one?
I would agree to that. I would think that the general premise is what you want to do in, any form of trading. Doesn't matter what asset class it is. You're generally wanting, you need points of, whether it's range. Generally speaking, we're talking about trading ranges. You're not trading imbalances. But generally speaking, you need not only support resistance, things like that, but NPOCs or a naked point of control. There's all these different various things, but what the point of it is to not get into all that, but to say that you have targets. You have to find a way to establish targets, and not every single one of them is going to work. That's not how trading works. You're trying to be above, 50%, obviously.
Right.
And yeah. So anyway, my point is, I would be targeting I would like to see this FBG stay open. I think the odds are decent that it does. I would be targeting in this range, I think over the next couple of days. And I think we maybe see some bounce today, and that's mainly due to momentum and the fact that if you see, again, just a general target around the 50 RSI, we usually see some bounce there. So yeah. Anyway. I
definitely I see the things you're looking at here, and it depends on what you're looking at, where your time frames are at. If overall, the reason I look at this, and I think most people will agree is it dictates the rest of the market where you're going to start seeing these other ones pick up, move, and make movements. It's just the way it is. But I did pull up an article right here. I take a quick look at this. Let me put this up at the top. Didn't do it. No. Okay. This is just from like 30 minutes ago. So it says the latest Trump signs order for more tariffs on U.S. partners to go into effect in 7 days. Kind of brief little blurb right
They
here.
haven't been pushed back yet then.
Nah. It looks like it signed an executive order Thursday placing tariffs on many U.S. trade partners. The next step in its trade agenda that will test global economy and alliances. They are set to go in effect in 7 days and not the Friday deadline that the president initially set. So that's probably why we saw that little bit of a downside. And to your point, that bounce could be over the weekend. The extension reflects the government need for more time to harmonize the tariffs rates, according to senior officials who spoke to yada yada yada. Bunch of countries, this, that, and a third. Yeah.
I would say that again, I kind of use historical bias here and just say that. I mean, I know the markets and everyone wants to treat it as okay. The tariffs are going into effect in the next 7 days, but I mean, easily he could just push those off again between now and then. So
right.
I would lean towards the odds being higher that they get pushed off. And it would make perfect sense because then, obviously the markets come down for a little bit of a flush here and then they just bounce right back up.
Well, that's kind of what I think it tends to be, or like market flushes where you see these, people getting shaken out. You see the liquidations. I made a post last night, I think I saw like either 100 million or 400 million was like liquidated in the last 24 hours with all the sell-offs and all that shit. And just to be funny, I was like, you don't get liquidated when you're Solana stake. Just saying,
Yeah, exactly.
I know that, and to my point is like I try to remind people, it's like if you are gonna play leverage games, like make sure you keep that in like reality perspective. Like you're playing against the odds that you're going to lose. You can use all the indicators you want to, but if the market wants to say, all right, time for everybody to kind of get fleshed out, let's reset the game, and that's how like regular traditional finance has always been. Exactly what you expect to happen. As soon as it's supposed to get there, it's a perfect setup, goes the other direction. And you're like, how? It's like, well, it's kind of set up that way. It's always been set up that way. There's market movers that are playing this game and reacting, and most of that reaction is again exactly that. It's not a response. The response is what we're seeing right now. The reaction is the complete sell-off and the wiggle. People that aren't patient.
I would say most of this stuff's really not that hard to see coming. I think we like to use the news as like a way or a reason
to justify it.
I'm looking at it the opposite way, like saying the news is, I'm using it to say when we're gonna bounce instead. Like I already pointed to days ago, regardless if I thought the tariffs would get lifted or not, I was like, okay, we're gonna grab some of this FBG here and a bunch of this. Like not saying I'm right every single time, but like a lot of the times it's not that hard to see.
Yeah.
And then everyone points to the news as the reason things are happening. But
yeah, it's like, oh, we did this. Now that's a reaction. That's people
Exactly.
all looking and seeing it. And that's exactly what I was saying. When I saw we were chopping, I put that parallel channel across there and I was like, well, we'll just see how this plays out. The fact that it is holding above 110 makes me happy because we have that huge candle. And typically when you see that kind of quick shot, like shoot up, you see quickly sells off. But looking overall, if you zoom out to the daily or past that, you would see that this is just a trend. There is going to be a little bit of pullbacks once you have these giant wicks, but this one isn't even that bad. This is a good one. This shows you that there's stability where you're at. I mean, before we even dipped down on the one a few days ago where it came down close to whatever 115, 114 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
My gut told me like, hey, this is probably going to retrace 50% into that to your point. And you're like, yeah, the FBG. I was like, okay, that's what I was seeing too. But either way, I do start to see more and more like the dominance shifting. You're seeing, more of the alts kind of get, even if the price doesn't reflect it, you're seeing people talking about it. Like even people at the gym, some random guys I was talking about crypto to me, like their thesis is, alts haven't ran yet and like they're still waiting for it. So I'm thinking that most of the people that aren't always into the thick of it, like they're wondering what's going on. They're like, why is this so idle? Why is Bitcoin running up so much? And these ones aren't at like all-time highs and shit like that. I'm like, it's coming. Like it's just a matter of, I guess, time. You got to kind of let this cook. But the fact that, like, in my opinion, the fact we're holding in this price discovery zone so strong, I think that that's one of the bullish indicators. It doesn't, I don't see us not going into 120, 130, 140, like, at all. I definitely see it happening. I don't think there's going to be much resistance once you start to move there too. I just feel like, I don't know, this last week is a good indicator where we're headed.
Here's an interesting part, actually. Hang on. Something I always look at anyway. Google Trends for alts. I could even type altcoins, I guess, if I want. But
You got what's it called? Your screen up for it?
what's that?
So can you put it on your screen or like the chart?
It should have. Why didn't it?
It's showing your
No,
Bitcoin
no.
chart right
It's
now.
on that screen.
I'm gonna
Weird.
close it and bring it back up.
Let me try it.
You're probably that
I'll just
it went away
read
now.
real quick. There we go.
There we go.
So, I would kind of call this bullish and bearish at the same time, I guess, because this is the most it's been searched for in a long time. So, yeah, I don't really know what to think of that. I hadn't looked for like a week, I think. I know it was.
What is the
way
time
up,
frames
but-
down there?
What's that?
What is the time frames on that? Like what?
I mean, that goes all the way back to, it's basically a year, past 12
Okay.
months. So, okay, let's go.
That's pretty wild. But I mean, that has a lot of correlation to do with ETS and it just being in the news
Well, that's
more.
the thing. The positive I would say to that is that if the searches are this high, this is now the last 5 years. Okay, one that, as much as we don't feel like it's going mainstream, it clearly is. And I would also then argue maybe we haven't really seen I mean, which is what I would already thought anyway, but we haven't really seen the real pump yet.
Right. That's what I'm
If
thinking.
altcoins are being searched for that much,
Mm-hmm.
let's just see Bitcoin here. Yeah, so let's just because this is a little bit more general, let's just say that we 100% haven't started yet. I don't know why altcoins are that high. That might have had a little something to do with during this last little run, but
Well, we just went through crypto week, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true,
that
too.
that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest things is people kind of forget. Like they put that into play. They have all of those acts that got signed. The average person that watches 9 to 5, or not 9 to 5, but like primetime news,
Mhm.
they're going to be hearing about that for the last week and a half. And I mean, now that they got their phone, boom, bap. I mean, you got Cash App, you got Venmo, you got everything that labels themselves as a digital wallet. Whether you have your own keys, is from app to project to company, relating on that end. But you're seeing more and more. Well, every sport's branded with crypto, every single one. Like you can't watch any professional sports without like crypto.com or this,
Yeah.
this option to get into this, that, or another thing. But that's totally coming. I mean, the fact that Circle IPO'd, the fact that we got stable coins being bought up and minted, by the millions left and right, companies switching their whole entire treasuries over to crypto, like it's, to me, I'm not shocked. It's just seeing it is like the other story. It's like, goddamn, we are, I would say, halfway through the ball game. Like we're much earlier than I think we tend to think online, because things move so fast, and we just, I mean, we do jump to conclusion. We do jump to the next thing so quickly, because it's like, well, if this is that, then this should be an indicator that this is happening. Like seeing NFTs pick up, seeing us, like the core community, not really the masses coming into them like they were before, like shows you that they're heating up. People are getting positioned. They've been accumulating like the OGs. And I think that you're seeing a result of the 2024 run on meme coins, where people that created wallets, that got into the space, and like either they're tired, they're bored, or whatever the case is, they're down so bad that they're like, well, I'm in Solana now. Like, what else is there to do here? Like, it can't just be meme coins, right?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that. I mean, to the point of meme coins, like as much as I talk, I wouldn't say down, but I don't talk about them like I used to or really care so much for them. There are still coins that like I truly do believe in. Like there's a chart that I think I have this bookmarked on here. I'm gonna share it real quick. It's
Yep, I'll stop sure.
meme coins super cycle. Let me pull this up in this one. And this is like, I mean, you can go to trends and you can look up how often are people searching up meme coins, and you'll see probably a jump in it once you start seeing the price move. Not Chat GPT, but Coinbase, them having that alone, like meme coin sections and news about them and posting them and all of that, listing them. I mean, this is a meme coin super cycle. We're at 66 trillion on the market cap. You got Dogecoin all the way up at 31 billion. And then you start to see the other ones kind of in the race to see where you go. Like this is WIF all the way back here. You've got S&P or SPX 6900. That's 1.5 billion. Bonk 2.1 billion. Pengu 2.1 billion. Pepe 4.4. And which one's this? Shiba 7.2 billion. Like we saw these moving much higher in the last run, and I think that these will even go much further this time. I think the thesis with Murad is like this cultural movement into retail. They might not want to buy stocks, even though we have stocks on chain, which is awesome. That's a whole nother conversation. They might not be interested in that yet, but they might be more or less like influenced by TikTok and the streaming and the post and the content that you see out there, because most of them target this and the big gains that come with meme coins. And I think that that's a cultural thing where people are like, I want to win money. And that's where we have the move from that last market run, that little bit of a bull run we had, where they're now getting into this Solana eco. You're going to have more people because it's even easier to get involved. Like all you need is a phone and a credit card, but basically, and the ability to download an app, and you could be trading Solana meme coins. That opens up the floodgates right there. And it's like, I don't think they're going away. I think that old things are becoming relevant again, and that's where you're seeing, old bag holders, people that are already planning to hold for 2 to 3 years, like knowing that you're not going to get those tremendous gains if you sell in that first year. Like that's where the Dogecoin millionaires came from. You know what I mean? Like they didn't just buy that month and be like, all right, I'm gonna sell that. They just kept the conviction of being delusionally crazy, and you're seeing more and more of that play out. You've even seen like Popcat, that's another good one. Most people recognize that don't even have crypto. The Giga meme. And then for me, I was talking about this one because I like the meme. I like the idea of it. It was troll. And let me go all the way back here. I was talking about this here when it was trading, and then it dipped all the way back down here. And I kept telling people you should buy, like, if you can get this under
like a Troll House or something like that.
No, this is just troll.
There's something house, and I forget.
Chill House, probably.
Chill House. That's what.
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
I don't know much about that one. I just know that it's talked about with a bunch of people with wallets and size that I don't know. I stayed away with that because this is one most people were kind of ignoring. Like the market caps just got to over 50
and this
million.
as we talked about. I like that long range like chop right there. I like accumulation.
Like I drew a pattern of this on 6/6, I think it was. Just kind of saying like, yo, these are the accumulation points. This is troll. Like everybody knows troll face. First off, the dude Fluffy made a video, and when I saw the video, he was out in Venice Beach asking people with a printout of it, and I was like, everybody knows it. Like he has so many responses. Oh, I recognize that, and they were all from different things. So I was like, damn. And I started like looking closer into like the lore of this, the meme, how old it is, like, and you gotta think like people get on the internet, they get trolled. Like that's just what it is, like, right? Yeah. So when I started putting things together, I don't know, I've been faithfully like following this. I would post about it from time to time, especially when you get to these points where it's clearly looking like it's about to run up. But I mean, look at that move right there. That's a good signal that this isn't a coin that ran. It came out around 420 this year. Like it's a new one. And I was telling people about it because, I mean, you can go and look at all of your old memes.
Did it actually launch on 420?
Yeah. That's like the part of the lore. Like it's such a good coin. And I mean, go look at my page and type in troll and see how many posts about this, under a penny, around a penny, all of these bottoms. That's where I was most bullish about this. And I missed like some of the run-ups with these other ones from just moving money around, like let's go take a look at Fwog real quick. This is like I said, I don't buy a bunch of memes. I don't do the trenches. I don't do any of that. But like everything you see here on my or my watch list here, these are coins that I think have substantial communities where you're probably going to see movement again. Like they're still around. There's 36 million on the market cap here. This had this tremendous run up. It made a huge cultural relevancy in Solana just because of the artwork for Fwog, and it's partnered with so many people. Their meme coin NFTs are at like 30 SOL or some ridiculous number. Like I'm not ever gonna pay for some shit like that, to be completely clear. Like, that's crazy. But some people will. Like every now and then there were a couple that were being sold at that, and you never know somebody's price average. So like who knows?
Some of these too, just one thing I'd point out, this won't be what most people would do, but you could. You can actually buy in these long range, like bottomed out accumulation periods, and then set like, I don't know, you'd have to determine this on your own on each one, but just set your sell orders, like even if it's 100% of them, like set them up above, because like a lot of these memes like just kind of pump out of nowhere, the old ones, older I should say. Somebody, generally some group, gets together and pumps these various things. Like if there's ones that are not dead, actually they can even be dead, but any of these things in that long range accumulation where it just looks like it's kind of dead, just like I said, you can buy them and then just set your orders, because you're probably not going to watch this chart every day, and just set your orders, and just next thing you know, one day you'll be like, oh, I got like a 5x or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, look at these run-ups right here. And the reason that happens is people make OTC deals. Like, you guys got to remember, there's whales out there buying up supply. And then they'll go to other people in the spaces that can pump these coins up, pump their bags up, and they'll do OTC deals, which are discounted rates of giant supplies. Because they'll just swap the coins and do the transactions. Like, that's a real thing for people that don't know, like, how these meme coins pump. Like, and there's other factors, but that's one of the most popular ones that I know for a fact is what goes on with Solana meme coins. Bottom line, like, it's just the way it is. Hate the game or play the game, you figure it out yourselves. But there are a couple apps like the BullX and those trading bots and stuff. I think that a lot of them have set that up where you can do sell orders and stuff like that, or at least some of them have it.
Anybody that's in the trenches will have that set up. I'm a little bit behind the game, being it's summer, and I am in the summer, so I'm still on BullX Neo. But I know of some other ones out there. It'd probably be more updated best bet.
I don't have any bots. I don't use any trading, anything like that, to be honest with you. Like I get in my positions, and it's like, if I'm gonna buy a bag of Fwog right here, where I do consider this being an entry point, I wouldn't be looking to sell until it was like 30, 60, or 80 cents. Like those be targets.
Whatever your prerogative is on it. I was just saying, like, even I can't totally tell what the price, but anyway, even far lower than that, you can even just be like, all right, here, let me sell 25%, 50%, whatever, Yeah.
Well, it's at 3 cents right now. Like that's what the price is, almost 4 cents. And the highest it got in the last few months was about 12 cents. So you can just set it for 10 cents and just make a couple.
So that's what I'm saying. I was even going to say higher than that, because I think it would, when it breaks out, it would break above that. So I would look at maybe, let me try to look a little closer. Can you make the chart a little bit bigger? But anyway, you said the one pump was like 10. It'd be well above that. So there's like a bottom, and then if you go way over to the left, there's another spot where it's like a little bit of a range. It looked like there was a little bit of a former support and resistance there.
Like here?
It'd be way up.
This is at 10 cents right there. And then
I'm talking above that even.
Right here? Yeah,
right
14
cents. Right above there.
These ones?
Yep, right there. You're about.
This is at 17 cents, 15
yeah,
cents.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you could I would just set my orders for that and just probably never look at it.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, there's a lot of plays like this. I mean, I think Fwog's one of those just because it has a big network and community. Everybody knows it. Pengu's one that you kind of saw coming a while, from a while back. Bonky, I think this is another one that I like the chart. Some people are flooding it for whatever reasons. I tried not to pay attention to any of that noise, and I also look at it like, well, if they're flooding it, they probably want a better entry. Like, There's nothing wrong with it. It's the same
It's hard to
kind of.
tell nowadays. It used to be that would definitely be the premise back in the day. Nowadays, everybody's just, I don't know,
It's hard.
worn
It's hard
out.
to.
Like that. I think some people are legitimately just complaining because they're so tired. But yeah.
But like this chart, I mean, it's showing the same patterns. You had like a rolling like progression with this one to hit this point, and then it just kind of it kept going. It had a lot of momentum, a huge community, but it's been down the same thing. But it's continuously kind of like had that slow growth, never lost full, I guess, relevancy on the timeline. But these are the ones that I start to watch. It's like when it got to the point where more people were buying, you jumped over top of this peak right here, and this is like at 20 cents. So I was saying anything 20 to 30 cents, this is going to continue in the bull run. Like that's a pretty good place to get into, but because it never came below that, it just kept bouncing, and then it finally broke through, and it's like you still have that as resistance. So I'm looking at these as like, hey, if things pick up the way that they likely will, and Solana starts pushing, me going to start pushing with them, these are going to be the plays, like the bigger communities, like that you can get a little bit more stability in a volatile world. I mean, there are going to be brand new coins that launch, and you're going to get 75 million X on them if you're in the trenches and shit like that. But these are more or less safer bets as far as
the bigger communities that aren't going anywhere, and the team's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and like
100%.
Trump for one, I think is under $10, completely undervalued. I called this one out again around $9, and then it ran up to like 11 or 12. You know, nothing crazy, but you don't have to like the dude. You don't have to like anything about it. You just have to understand like the market doesn't give a shit about that.
Nope.
Like there will be a point that this comes back up. It's just it's fucking Trump. He's a business guy. You know what I mean? Like he.
Speaking of that, well, similar name. I'd pull up Pump.
That's the next one right below it, because I was like, these are such funny coins.
Obviously, that's a new chart, but if like we talked about before, at least on the daily anyway, it's a new chart. It's not 100% to say that this is the bottom, but they're definitely trying to make it the bottom.
I would say that this is your point to get in if you want a nice fucking return on this thing, because
that's what I'm getting at, because they're really trying pretty hard here. Without the only thing I would make me pause a little bit is a little less so now. I was gonna say just in case the market really does cool off before the next run here, but either way, like any range, you should be spending that time accumulating. It doesn't mean, so you buy a little bit here in a week again, still ranging, buy a little bit more, things like that. So like,
just like you have something like Jupe you could use that has a dollar cost average tool. So you can put like a SOL in there and then have increments and buys and stuff like that throughout this. But this guy's got $2 billion on reserve to pump this coin. And he wants his business to be the #1 launchpad and successful. And there's a bunch of cult-like people that made life-changing money from doing this. And when I say bunch, let's say there's collectively 10 to 20 people that are active on the timeline. There's probably others that don't say a word, but they like it, All signs point to like, if everybody hates it, that's your entry.
To me, I would be like, in a lot of these cases, I would say this, and this very well might happen here. This range might take a long time, the bottom. But in this particular case, just because it's more of a villain-esque type, situation. And they're trying very hard to make this the bottom, the team itself. So like, I mean,
look at this coin. This is a coin that everybody loves, and it did like a very similar thing where it was at the bottom for a long time. Like you change the chart, it doesn't look as nice like that. I mean, it was down forever, So this is a coin that everybody will rave about and say that they love it. What's the difference? Like, look at this movement here. You go back to Pump, you see a very similar price action. You just take the emotion away, you take all the extra stuff away, and I mean, this is the point where money doesn't care who you are, what you're doing, and where you came from. It cares how much you got and what you're putting into the pot. Let me go to the 4 hour. You see what I mean? Like, let this come up here and then come all the way back down again and be like, see, it's dead. It's like, yeah, so was fucking Pengu. I mean, you can look at what's another one that did that. Emmy, Magic Eden. This is a token. You know, it's providing people don't have to like their business practices, anything about them, but it's providing a value for the Solana ecosystem with NFTs. And look, it's still tremendously down. You know,
Actually, use Pengu as an example of what we're talking about.
well, yeah, exactly. So like both of these are examples of like it's down, and both of them are like some
But
people
Pengu's
might.
actually not down.
Well, no. My point is with Pump, it's a villain-esque type thing. You know, people don't
Yeah.
like it because of the extraction point. And then you look at Pengu, you look at ME. Well, you could say ME is a little bit of extractor, but it's a service. You need that there. I mean,
Yeah, there you
Pengu,
go.
the same thing. It's
So the point is, like, at least the way there's like this point in there where it's like, again, the long range, like accumulation looking dead type pattern. And then boom, breaks out. You know, that's again, if you find the point is, and we talked about this some other time on something, that you want to find these where the team is like very, very, very like you're gonna find these charts everywhere, but like you're gonna find a bunch of teams that are like barely doing anything or they're dead, the community's
Right.
dead, blah blah blah. But when the community's like alive and the team is like actively working the whole time, these are the types of charts. If you ignore the pump already there, those are the types of charts you want to look for. They're the easiest ones.
yeah. I
in
mean,
my
this
opinion.
is perfect setup. I mean, you have this little test right here, the handle there. I mean, 7 cents. That doesn't look crazy. This little
Yeah.
setup. I don't know. Pengu, I think, is going to be a huge player. The dude's extremely bullish. They've done so much already. They got the whole abstract thing going on. They got the plushies. The dude shows up and like listening to the way he talks about what he wants this to become. This was a telltale sign, and this is to my point with Pump. You don't have to like it, but they want this to win. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's my point. I don't like it, but I don't care.
yeah, it's like my money will like it. My money will like it.
I'm not like a community member, so using it as
Yeah.
a trade.
Exactly. But I'll agree. Yeah, this is terrible. And for the airdrop, whatever. But like, if you get an airdrop here, you're gonna be happy as shit when this recovers. Like, you're gonna be like, thank
Yeah.
God. So I don't know. There's my point is with most of this shit. Like, I'm not a big meme coin guy, but the point is that there's opportunity there in the market. I mean, I won't talk about it as much. I'll talk about the tokens and the communities I like. You know, the stuff that you see me post about. Troll was one of them where it was just, I liked it personally. I thought it was it was funny. It was something I wouldn't mind sharing with people, and I wouldn't mind telling people, you know, I made a couple of dollars off of trading this funny little face. Like, simple as that. You know, it's one of those kind of coins, and it was such a good setup under a penny. You know, and even at a penny for people to get in, you're at a 3 or 4x right now. It went up to 7 cents, so it's chilling just under 5 cents right now. Like, that's expected. You have a 10 to 20% pullback with meme coins after a pump. Great, as long as like you see it continue to build from there, that's like a really good sign. If it comes all the way back down to a penny, what do you think the community is going to do at this point? They're going to buy the shit out of it. They'll be like, yo, if we did this once, like, this is going higher and higher and higher. And
Exactly.
the goal with these guys, like, you'll hear everybody have price targets and guesses and shit like that. These guys, every single one that I've seen with a bull case scenario, they're like, why wouldn't this be $1 billion coin compared to these other like memes just in general? I'm like, that makes sense. I could see it. I mean, it is a large way to go from here. But if you shoot for that, I'm happy with 75 million. You know, I'm happy, or not, 750 million rather. Like, I'm happy with that. Like, go ahead, take it there. But we'll see. I'm not putting all my eggs into this basket, but it's one of those baskets where it's like, put a soul at it or something like that. Put like average into it when you can on these ranges, on these bottoms. Like, take your time, let it come to you. Don't chase it at the top just because
That's what I do. Even on the ones where I know I prefer to be larger,
Mhm.
I just, you know, I'm just like every spot where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start accumulating it. It's like 1, 2 soul. Like, I mean, it can be small, and then I know I'll end up just like keep buying. And if I only do end up getting a small amount, that's fine, you know. But like, I never am just like, okay, here's 15 soul, like right away. Like, it's just not how I do it, and that's generally
Unless
not
somebody told you like, hey, I'm launching this coin, you should buy it right now. Like,
well, yeah. If you
There's
you
no
got
other
some-
reason you really want to be that crazy unless you got the money to burn. But
if you got some insider info for me or something like that, then maybe I, you know. But otherwise, yeah, like there's a bunch this summer where I'm just like 1 soul. A week later, 3 soul, like whatever. I'm just like buying,
yeah,
and then wait,
I
for
think
the type of charts that we're talking about, where it's like, you know,
they're
and
down.
just goes like that and just
Yeah.
levels off.
So here's a good example. Like I really like Troll, and I'm trying to tell you guys like it's something to watch. I would not say this is an entry point. If you guys are looking for it, you might want to come back and let it retest these zones before you start like really aping in. But do your own research. It's your money to win or lose in the game of meme coin. But I do want to take a look at Rizzo because this has ties to Elon. It has ties to virality, and I've seen it perform a couple times. I kind of called this out previously, and I was like, dude, this thing's tied to the fucking rocket. Like, to your point of just buy when it's down. Like, this is when all the mayhem was going on with these new apps, people getting into them. Like, I remember making videos about how you can use, what was it, Moonshot or whatever? One of those things. I forget whatever app it was called. But this is when things were going crazy. They were trying to recover. You could see that the community was sticking around. People trying to pump this thing to the high heavens because it's tied to Tesla's mascot. Like when you buy a Cybertruck, it would be a picture of this little Rizzo hedgehog on the paper. So people noticed that, and then when Elon posted it and like he cropped a picture of the hedgehog onto a SpaceX rocket, that's what like started sending it like this, right? And then there was like some post or some action recently where it did this. And the fact that you're seeing this, it's only at $6 million market cap, but it's got 32,000 people that have this in their wallet, which shows me like people are still going to be paying attention. There's a crazy community. It is active on X. It's one of those things the team's building, trying to do things because they're riding the coattails of one of the most mimetic and viral things. And the only reason I'm talking about it is because like I know other people pay attention to this one because of the connections, the ties to, who it it's gotten that wheelhouse. And Elon, Tesla, SpaceX, cute little fucking hedgehog that's funny as shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like the memes. I think they're great. It's funny as can be. So I don't know, something to pay attention to. These are the areas where I would say, start looking at. Like, it came down to this point where it bounced before. So I will be watching that area. Like, would you want to throw something small at it at that point? Maybe. It's something I'm going to keep my eye on just because it's fun to chart it anyway. Because if you start to recognize these patterns, you can kind of dictate it.
That's again, I feel like I've said it a million times now, but that's the overall point: is that long tail accumulation patterns. Like, that's the best one you want to find.
Yeah, this one is a extremely, extremely, extremely like high risk on play because it's Titcoin. It's just boobs. But the point about this one is it sounds like Bitcoin. When you start to see the memes and people posting over and over and over, the engagement and impressions they get is retarded because it's hot girls on the internet. Like, that's pretty evident. Like, that's going to get people to look at it for longer. So all of these factors kick into this thing being like of not as viral in my opinion, because not everybody's going to think it's funny, but enough people will, where this thing has reached, what were these market caps? Like stupid shit where I was like, no way. Like, this coin's retarded. $74 million market cap. I mean, it topped out up here at almost 100 million market cap for Titcoin.
Back at the end of the last year.
Yeah. This was
everything
May.
got retarded.
This came out March. Well, no, not even last year. So this spring it came out. It was when Bitcoin was running and everybody was super bullish. And then May is when it topped out at the almost 100 million. Then it sold off from there. Which, I mean, look at this run here. You would expect that, but it built a community in this area. There's believers that are still in this little area. So, is my screen? What happened here? My little control panel just froze on me.
No.
Am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like a ghost. Am I here, guys?
I couldn't
You
tell
see me?
anything changed.
Okay. Because like this screen is like going crazy. Look.
Huh.
That's back to normal. All right, we're good. Anyway, this is a coin that like I'm not dismissing it, but it came all the way back down to previous breakout point and where it broke through here with ease. It's something I am watching because it's like one of those things where once it catches that viral thing, it starts to send. I don't have any exposure to this, It's just one of those coins as an example. It's extremely viral, but if this continues, trickling down or going sideways at this point, just pay attention to where it broke out before. You know, like this right here was showing me that there was enough community that was trying to maintain this because it came back down to this point before it broke out. You see the same thing where it was trying to support it, that fell through. I'm watching this to see what happens if you see accumulation points patterns with stuff like this, just because it's an easily viral, kind of coin like Bitcoin, whatever. It's stupid, but the more stupidity and like, I don't know, that seems to happen. Like, look at Neatcoin. This is not in employment education training. It's stupid. It's funny as can be though. Like, it's like, look at the chart.
Why? So for me, yeah, obviously,
look at the fucking chart on this is retarded.
This is why I have to look at data when it comes to like all this type of stuff. Like I have to use different tools and things like that. Where
you look on the blockchain and like do that kind of stuff? You mean?
Well, I would say I use platforms that do look at the blockchain, like
okay,
anything to do with like Moby agent, like basically kind of digs into it. It has like a DCA function where it's like, hey, we've got people DCAing hard with like 100K.
Right.
Like, stuff like that where
gives you analytics that kind of can tell you
accumulation. I see a good team, stuff
we
like
should
that.
Tap into
otherwise
that more.
The meme part, my point was the meme part does not equate to me. Like I don't think that way. I don't know what the heck is viral in that regard. And it's just, I'm probably too old to get it half the time.
That's honestly, it's one of those generation gap things where you have to dip into it. You have to like, it's one of those things. If you have that, like, it doesn't make sense to me in your head, you'll look at it and be like, all of this is retarded. And you'll be like, yes, that's the response. Like when I get that response from anybody
before was like, I'm like, okay, none of this makes any sense. So I guess all of them are good. Like,
well, that's where, all right. So that's where you mix in. All right, so for anybody that, like, for me, I guess anybody that looks into meme coins, everybody has their own strategy, and a very easy way before you even take that next step to where I would need more. I don't have that time like spent and exposure and experience of looking past that, because I'll look at something, I'll see a chart and be like, okay, let me check the timeline, let me check the CA. So I look at them on X, and then I go to TikTok and I start to look up videos on there. I start to look at the engagement and all of that kind of stuff. And you start to put together this picture. Are people talking about this for real, or is this just like being pumped by a couple people? And then you start to see the same names, and then you can kind of come to a conclusion like, where's the activity stem from? Is this a community of people, and do they have an X community? Is there like all of those things? It only takes about 10 minutes to do that kind of research. But if it gets to that point of like, I should really look at this, I hit up the people that I know that are deep into meme coins, and they'll kind of do what you do. If I'm like, yo, go look at this one, what do you think? What's this one look like? That's literally how I do it, because
that's essentially what I'm saying. That's why I use data, because I'm like, I'm not going to spend I'm not going to go hop in their TG, or I'm not going to do this and this and this. I'll just look at the data. I can figure out that a team and a community are there and active. And
well, I mean, so that point is like, that's where my gut and me just being like intertwined with this space for so long, like Troll, the people that were talking about this, it launching on 420, the relation to the face itself, like all of these things were pinpoint accurate, but everybody, other people would say, dude, this is just selling off. I'm like, nah, dude, you're holding the floor. Like, there's too many people that, like, I know in this space will hold this bag for months and wait for it to make that move. And sure as shit, like, this isn't it. This is not it. Like, this is step one. This is the first inning for Troll, if you want my honest opinion, and like what people are thinking of. Like, this is how you have to think of these types of coins. You've got that first breakout from this long accumulation period throughout the summer. Like, it doesn't mean it's going to play out, and like, I wouldn't need to look further than the timeline for this, but that's also me being like tapped into it. Like, another coin where like Neat isn't something that most people would recognize, but I see it. I heard enough kind of shilling about this coin, and people being on the timeline making memes about it. Like, you wouldn't expect this to be holding a $90 million market cap with a ridiculous name like this. I've never looked at anything technical past this. This was all the indicator I needed. I was like, this is fucking retarded. Might as well buy a bag. And like, some of my friends have shielded to me with that same exact basis. Like, useless. This is a perfect example. Like when everything was popping off, this thing wasn't doing anything. When everything kind of shit the bed, this was the coin that was like the big rave. Everybody was like, yeah, it just goes up. Yeah, fucking useless coin. Pointless as can be. $248 million market cap. What the flying fuck? 28,000 wallets got some of this in there. I would never look up any TA on this because I'm like, well, the TA is this goes up until it didn't.
Yeah,
Like
there's no real TA as other than you could maybe find some market structure in some of the ones that have been around a while.
yeah. But like this
That's
is insanity. But like to hold a market cap like this in a short time, being a useless coin, like that's where it's like there's such a mimetic. Like if you go look this one up, this one's plastered all over the place. Like people are posting about it left and right because it has that sensation. But I mean, it's SPX, another one. The thesis is they want to flip the stock market, and people are like, there's no chance that's ever going to happen. You're probably right, but if it did 1%, that's the goal. You see what I'm saying? Like that's where it's like it doesn't make sense, but it's like if you can believe, like all of these people did, and then throughout this, like you're right, time and time again. And people try to justify. I mean, this is a really nice cup and handle setup for anybody looking at a good example of TA, but that sell-off's hard. But that's also a nice entry. Like if you're believing in this long, like start averaging in on giant sell-offs like this. That's, I don't know. I mean, it came down and retested this zone. Bunch of red days. It's bound to turn green soon. But when I saw this one, I was like, this is ridiculous. It's an Ethereum coin. You can buy it pegged, whatever. But as the dude Murad, like he's crazy and funny at the same time. But he was on stage talking about memes and thesis, and everybody said he was wrong. But if you go look at like the time frame from him being wrong versus these other coins, like if you thought he was crazy, look at the market cap and then compare it to something like Wog, where you can have like artwork and you can believe in this community. It's like, yeah, well, this is just a thesis, and look at it. You know, it's a fucking cult on top of it, but that's another conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's all I got for memes. I mean, it's a good conversation to have. I think it's a good option, but it's one of those things where it's not my biggest bet. I think my biggest bet is consistency and stacking. I mean, there are some plays like the Troll's definitely one. Like I think is worth looking at for somebody that's looking for a bag to get into. But there's other plays, infrastructure plays. There's real plays that I think are like Zeus is a coin that I think is worth accumulating. I'm seeing more and more people that have a good pulse on the market talking about coins like that, not just because of our relation to it, but like just literally watching it more and more. And I'm like, that's one of those things you probably won't recognize because of the noise of the space, because of the theatrics you see and all of that. You miss out on opportunities from that going on. I mean, if everybody's talking about a launchpad war, meanwhile this team's building and launching things that are like of long-term value and use that are sustainable products, like that's where, to your point, like Pengu, investing into that on the down days. Like, why wouldn't you want to do something like that, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, everybody wants to buy things that are going up, but technically, you're supposed to be buying when it's down, not when it's going up. So,
exactly.
Zeus itself is kind of forming another one of those patterns we were just talking about. Kind of that long-range accumulation, just kind of starting that on the bottom right now. So, I mean, those are the types of things I would look for.
I'm gonna pull it up just because you said something. I don't know if Amazon's here or the dog's trying to eat somebody.
Hopefully
She's
Amazon.
like, what's that?
So hopefully Amazon.
Jesus, you're just talking about that. Yeah, I see that too. I mean, it's hard to dismiss that.
I mean, that's the way I would treat it, and have been.
Yeah, that's an easy layup. I mean, this is like all these other, like, that's why it's towards the top of my watch list, to be completely straight with you. These are these coins where it's like I plan on being here for the duration that this takes to be one of the better performers. I do think there is a point where some memes get outpaced by the longevity of these coins, like cycle to cycle, local top to local top, whatever you want to call it. Like I'm having a harder time identifying like the cycle and explaining that to somebody because of where we're at now. I just see 3 more years of this. I really don't see the traditional cycle patterns we've seen and blow off tops and all of that. I just see like there's just different legislation. There's different
I would call them
participation.
liquidity cycles. If what
Okay.
you're speaking
Okay.
in is like maturity of the market, you're like, well, it's not going to blow off like it used to.
Yeah.
Correct. I could see that. I would call them liquidity cycles, which is why we can't. When we talked about this before, I call them almost like mini cycles, where you're like few months and then few months.
Yeah.
Like you just keep riding a wave, basically. And so in that turn, alts, I mean, you really got to look at it in smaller bits, like a couple months at a time. You know.
Yeah, dude, I used to have like 30 different coins. Like I'd be buying this one, like going crazy. Now I think maybe I probably have about 10 different coins that I've got bags in or investments in or any kind of exposure to, because it's just like I've realized you got to get really good at one thing. Like diversifying under a certain amount of dollars is something people don't talk about, which would be a good conversation. But we are at the top of the hour here. I am going to rug this just because I got more stuff to get done today. But this is a good conversation. Good topics. And just for you guys that don't know, next Tuesday, we're going to be rocking out with episode 2, the state of Solana. Let me see if I can find the post just to put that up in the background. We can see it.
And if anyone's missed it before, that'll be a weekly show at 8 a.m. Eastern every Tuesday. This week the episode is called The State of Solana, but we'll have various topics every week. We get into the charts, we get into some news topics, some quick points on what's kind of happening in the markets in Solana. And then of course we have a main topic. Some weeks we will have some guest speakers as well.
I think I sent some of the images for this in the chat. I can't remember.
Yep.
I didn't save them on my PC yet, but there you go. Dude, I want to watch Pulp Fiction. Every time I see a PFP, I'm like, man, I gotta watch that today.
I haven't even seen it for a while yet. I think I need to watch it soon.
Yeah. I meant to ask you, are you into NFTs at all? Do you buy NFTs? Do you pay attention to that? Well, this isn't going to play, but you guys get the idea. The information's up here. Episode 2, State of Solana, next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Here,
I'm going to repost this.
I got something for you real fast. I can just pull the image up quick. If that helps any.
Yeah.
If it's a little more zoomed in that way.
Is it on your screen?
Hang on. Yeah, I was just getting there.
I thought I had it uploaded to the video, but that's
there we go.
Where's Gravy at when you need him? Gravy, this is your cue. Just if you are watching, this is your cue, buddy. Is he going to be there? You think did we discuss that?
Yeah, I believe he will be. I tried to share my screen, by the way. I don't know if you allowed it or.
There it is right there.
That helps a little. I just pulled up an image.
Full screen yours. Hit full screen on yours. On like the image. No.
Anyway, you guys get the gist of it. We'll be making posts about it. So,
well, yeah, they get the idea. So yeah, we'll be rocking out. I don't think I have. What do I have going on today? At 1 o'clock, I'm doing the one-on-one with the homie Big Boy. Some of you guys know who he is. He's on Polygon as well. I think he's rocking out with Katana. I don't know anything about that, so we're gonna find out a little bit about what that whole project is. I'm just curious, and to catch up with him. He's a good friend of mine. Met him in Miami at the IRL events, and I don't know if you guys don't go to IRL events. It is the alpha. Jules, definitely know that you need to get yourself to some IRL events in the next coming months or years or whatever. But it's the alpha.
Yeah, nobody's seen my face until your streams.
Yeah, there you go.
Out of all the years I've been in crypto, is the first.
There we go. So that's one or two people. Dev, she was on last Friday. It was her first time on stream as well. So I'm popping cherries left and right out here. Solana made simple, man. This is funny. But all right, guys. I'll see you guys later on today on stream. Thanks for coming and hanging out this morning, Jules. GM to everybody. Have a good weekend. Touch grass, take profits, put in work, whatever you got to do, but have fun while you're doing it.